Welcome to Best of the Book Club.
This week I'm recommending a book that we read and discussed at a meeting back in 2014. Unusually it was a book that most of us had read before. I had read it back when I was in school, and I'm sure that many of you have also read it as part of your studies growing up. Many books are often worth revisiting and discussing at reading group meetings, as it allows the opportunity to talk about favourite reads and important themes in novels with others. Today's recommendation was instantly successful upon its release back in 1960 and went on to win the Pulitzer Prize. It became one of the best-selling books of the 20th century, and in 2006 British librarians ranked the book ahead of the Bible as one every adult should read before they die. The book is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Set during the Depression-hit 1930s in the imaginary town of Macomb, Alabama, To Kill a Mockingbird is a novel whose main theme is courage and having the strength and bravery to do what is right. We also get a beautiful portrayal of the relationship between parent and child. Atticus Finch is a respected lawyer in the community and the widowed father of Scout and Jem. Scout, just 6 years old, is the narrator and protagonist of the novel, who tells us what happens to her and the town's community over a 3-year period. During the first summer, Scout and older brother Jem befriend Dill, a boy who is sent to stay with his aunt every summer holiday. The 3 children play together and explore the neighbourhood. They are afraid to go near the house of a man named Boo Radley who lives close by. Because adults are also wary of their reclusive neighbour, the children fuel each other's apprehension and fear with rumour and speculation. Atticus, who is principled, kind and compassionate, encourages them to leave Boo alone and consider his feelings. Perhaps the secret of the novel's remarkable success and the novel's enduring appeal is the character of Atticus Finch. He ensures his children understand and respect kindness and forgiveness, and that sometimes you do the right thing not because you are told to, but because you know it is the right thing to do. We learn that Atticus is to defend a black man, Tom Robinson, who is accused of raping a young white woman. Atticus believes in Tom's innocence, and in 1930s Alabama, a white man, even a respected lawyer like Atticus, could not take such a stand without paying a price. Nevertheless, Atticus is willing to pay the cost resulting from his conviction that every man, regardless of colour, is entitled to a fair and impartial trial in an American court of law. Local children taunt Jem and Scout for Atticus's actions. Scout is tempted to stand up for her father's honour by fighting, even though he is told her not to. One night, a group of men gather intent on lynching Tom. Atticus attempts to break up the crowd, but the crisis is averted when Scout, Jem and Dill show up. Scout inadvertently breaks the tension by recognising a classmate's father and making desperate attempts at conversation. This seems to bring the men to their senses and they leave. After the trial is over, Jem and Scout are attacked by a man who had told Atticus he will get his revenge, but the children are saved by an unlikely hero. Although the story was familiar to all the book group, we enjoyed discussing just what it is that makes this novel so popular, so well loved and important. Harper Lee created an incredibly compelling narrator in the character of Scout, who understands and misunderstands just the right amount to be realistic, and to get all the major points the novel is trying to make across. It would have been easier to write from the perspective of Atticus, who is the hero of the story, but instead we get an innocence and purity in Scout's accounts of what happens, and we see her growing up and understanding more about the world over the 3 years that the story spans. The scenes described in the courtroom are among the most memorable and gripping scenes in the novel. But we realise that what makes Atticus a hero, however, is not his achievement in the courtroom, but it's the courage he has to challenge the customs, beliefs and the entrenched racism of his southern community that does. Atticus Finch has become one of the most notable and enduring characters in literature and provides a moral compass for many readers and for those who have seen the excellent film adaptation starring Gregory Peck. The author's writing is really subtle in places, and Lee drew us in through her fantastic writing, which is both charming and astonishing in places. It's a gripping story with great characters, but we were very aware just how relevant all the issues in the book still are today, even though the book was published 60 years ago. We all agreed that the novel is one of the wisest, most finely crafted pieces of prose fiction we had ever read. If you haven't read it, don't be put off if you already know the plot or by all the critical, in-depth analyses that exist, because underneath all of that, it's simply a great read. To Kill a Mockingbird is available to download as an ebook from our e-library.